Before you outsource content moderation, our checklist. Your platform is scaling. Content volume triples overnight. Your engineers are manually banning spammers instead of shipping features. And someone in Slack finally types it, we need to outsource content moderation. Recognizing that moment is the easy part. What comes next is where teams get burned. When founders and CISOs evaluate a moderation vendor in 2026, they're usually worried about three things. First, will this vendor keep your user data safe? Second, can their AI really understand context, or will harmful content still get through while the human team falls behind? And third, what happens when volume spikes and the pricing suddenly changes? So in this video, we'll go through 5 checks that will help you avoid those problems before you sign the contract. First, security and compliance. Item 1. Data protection should be part of the setup from day one. If a moderator can pull out a personal phone and take a photo of a private user conversation, that is just not a bad process. It is a serious compliance problem, especially under the rules like DSA, GDPR, and COPPA. So before you sign with a vendor, get very specific about their moderation environment works. First, ask about their workspace rules. Are personal phones allowed? Can moderators use USB drives? Is paper allowed at the desk? For sensitive content, the answer should be no. Second, ask how the work is accessed. Ideally, moderators should be working through a controlled environment where the content stays in their systems or in a secure client setup. It should not be downloaded, copied, or stored on someone's local machine. And when it comes to compliance, I would not stop at yes, we have it. Ask for the paperwork. Ask for the audit trail. Ask what policies are actually enforced day by day. ISO 27001, SOC Type 2, GDPR procedures. Those should be easy for a serious vendor to provide. Ask to see the actual ticket view. What does the moderator actually see? If they don't need the user's name, email, or phone number to review the case, hide it. Then ask the practical question. What stops a moderator from copying, saving, photographing, or sharing our users' private messages? A good vendor can answer that without dancing around. Second, SLA structure. Item 2. Are your SLAs built for peak or just monthly averages? Friday night, this usually breaks when traffic spikes. A streamer goes viral, reports are piling up, and what looked like a normal queue suddenly becomes thousands of cases your team needs to handle now. You call the vendor and instead of a surge plan, you get, we're still within the SLA. Monthly averages are meaningless during a real-time crisis. What you need, hour by hour SLA commitments tied to actual peak windows. Content tiered by criticality. Tier 1, threads to live or CSAM. Response under 2 minutes. Tier 2 spam, 30 minutes is fine. And dynamic queue routing, leading vendors now use AI to predict load spikes by time zone and pre-position stuff before the wave hits. Ask the vendor what happens to my SLA at 9 PM on a Friday when volume is 3 times higher than the daily average. Item 3. Is the QA methodology built for the Gen AI era? Here's a number, 1%. That's the QA sampling rate many vendors still use today. 1% was designed for basic policy violations, not for adversarial deepfakes, multi-model content, and AI-generated hate speech, engineered to full classifiers. What you actually need, a genuine human-in-the-loop workflow. AI does first-pass scoring, human make the real final call on edge cases. Always. QA sampling at 5 to 10% focus on gray zone content, not easy high confident calls. And collaboration sessions, regular alignment checks where QA engineers review the same ambitious cases together to prevent policy drift. The Frontier Challenge in 2026, multi-module moderation. A video with misleading audio track, on-screen text on a regional dialect, referencing a political figure's nickname that no AI training set content. Your vendor needs to handle that stack simultaneously. Ask the vendor, what's your QA sampling rate and how do you handle multi-model content with regional cultural context? Number 4, scalability, and cultural nuance. Item 4. Do they actually understand your new market or just translate it? Your launch in Brazil or the Gulf region. A meme goes viral to a translation tool, it's harmless. To anyone from that region, it's a politically coded reference that gets platform banned within hours. Your vendor flagged it, unclear, no action taken. The gap between we support 40 languages and we have cultural embedded native speakers is where perpetual crises are born. You need native speakers with genuine geolocalization expertise, not bilingual native. Ask how fast they can add people when volume jumps. If a campaign goes viral, can they give you 50% more moderation capacity within 48 hours? For a new market, I push past the language answer. We have native speakers, is fine, but it's not enough. Do they understand slang, the jokes, the memes, local politics? The things that only make sense if you actually know the market. AI can help with updates, but the final decision should come from a person, not a model. Ask, how do you check that moderators actually understand the market we're entering? Number 5, red flags. 3 things you hear from a vendor that should end the call immediately. When a vendor says, we don't need humans, it's all automated, I push back. AI is useful, but it still gets confused by sarcasm, local context, and content that's written specifically to get past the filters. When it fails publicly, it's your brand in the headline. Pricing that's dramatically below market. Cheap moderation means no wellness infrastructure for teams reviewing genuinely traumatic content. That leads to burnout, quality collapse, and data security incidents within weeks, not months. No proprietary platform or analytics. If they're tracking SLA performance in spreadsheets, they can't give you real-time compliance visibility. You need live dashboards and the ability to answer. How did our false positive rate change after last week's policy update? If they are working blind, so are you. Outsourcing content moderation isn't delegating a task. It's delegating the safety of your users and your brand to a partner making thousands of judgments calls every day, under your policies within consequence that land on your reputation. The full checklist is available for download below this video. Take it into your next vendor call and use it in real time. And if you want to see our hybrid teams and SOC2 infrastructure perform for platforms at your scale, book a short and no obligation security audit. Link in the description. Make sure your next vendor makes it past question 1.